Welcome back to our discussion of the 14 defining characteristics of fascism. Yesterday, we talked about religion and government are intertwined, and today we will be discussing corporate power is protected. The industrial and business aristocracy of a fascist nation often are the ones who put the government leaders into power, creating a mutually beneficial business-government relationship and power elite. Do you think that fits us?
Rex Tillerson?
Betsy DeVos?
Yeah, no, it definitely does. With either party, because Hillary Clinton would have used many of the same people that Trump used.
Yeah, it's definitely going on.
Yeah, like the court, like we talked about the other day with the media. There's 5 corporations now that run all the media, and many of them are intertwined with government. Like the FCC is run by an AT&T executive.
Oh, no conflict of interest there.
No, that's why they're trying to push forward with the net neutrality and all that stuff, because they're going to profit from it, him and his buddies.
Yeah, well, I think we saw a big one, big example of this with the Dakota Access Pipeline, which, to give you an idea of how blatantly they're putting corporate interests before national interests. If you look at Dakota Access Pipeline, it's owned by Energy Transfers, and Energy Transfers has ties to China. So let's put a pipeline under a major drinking supply, and let's make sure China has access to it.
Yeah. But But with this new presidency, you have these people are a corporation pretty much, and they're basically robbing us of our tax dollars for their own corporate for-profit interests. Like he just depleted the Secret Service like last week the news came out. They're almost broke for the year's spending.
Yep. And that's because of all of. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say a lot of this is for his family to go and work on business deals with people in other countries and their travel to be protected. So it's really in 2 ways we're getting robbed. He's profiting from us every which way possible. We're getting robbed because our tax dollars are going to fund his business, and we're also getting robbed because it's personal. I mean, it's just like they take the whole family and they go together, and they need Secret Service for each person. It's ridiculous, man.
Yeah, it really is.
You also have to look at the amount of regulations that he is cutting, and a lot of people don't realize how important that is to the workers. But it's most of these regulations, or at least a good deal of them, are put in place because somebody was killed or injured on the job, or to keep that from occurring. And he's willing to cut 75% of corporate regulations, according to his own statement in January.
Yeah, and the people back this. I mean, I seen he did a rally yesterday, and the people were before they were talking to the Trump supporters, and they were talking about how big business needs tax cuts because the money will eventually come back to us, and people need to get off their asses and go get a job. Or every person pretty much they interviewed owned their own business and was very, very successful. These are Trump supporters. This is what they were telling the media. I'm not so sure it was fact.
It's not. Oh, you meant about the business owners. I was going to say, because we know for a fact that trickle-down economy doesn't work. It just never has. Reagan put it in place. It has led to multiple recessions. Of course, the most notably the 2008 recession.
One lady outside of the rally said she thinks businesses should be able to pay whatever they choose to pay their employees. Minimum wage is way too high, according to what their business is. So this is a person. This isn't some rich billionaire. This is just some person standing in line to go see Trump. and she thinks the minimum wage is way too high, and these companies need to be able to pay people any slave wage they deem that they can prove that's necessary. That's insanity to me.
Yeah, the cronyism, I mean, that's a thing that's been going on for some time. I mean, of course, Obama had plenty of billionaires in his cabinet, but Trump is 4 times that, and his cabinet isn't even full. Like, it's pretty clear that he just doesn't want anything to do with you unless you're a billionaire and you can do something for him. And that is actually the definition of crony capitalism.
Yes. I do want to emphasize what Steve just said, though. This is nothing new. I mean, The Power Elite is a book that was written by sociologist C. Wright Mills in the 1950s, discussing this type of corporate and military power being protected by the government. And at least when C. Wright Mills wrote the book, it was that military controlled the government, and then corporations were underneath it, and we've seen the complete switch where it's the corporations that control the government. And you can see that with, when it says corporate power is being protected, the amount of lobbyists, the billions of dollars every year that goes into lobbying our elected officials to vote their way instead of voting their constituents' way. That's what they're willing to protect. And so we've seen that kind of switch where military is no longer at the top, it's now corporations.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, at this point, anybody who can't see that this is going on, there's nothing you can really say to them. For everybody else who has eyes to look around, I would say, just pay close attention to things like, when Donald Trump sold his shares in Energy Transfers, where those shares went. Because this is a thing with the protection of corporate power. What you get is then you have a cabal of corporations that are buddy. These you might have like 2 or 3 cabals. They can just pass the money around between them. And in fact, when the British Petroleum spill happened, you saw a lot of that. I mean, the money that British Petroleum paid out for a cleanup, which wasn't even a proper cleanup, pretty much wound up back in their pockets when you look at who it went to do the cleanup and so on.
And we see the same thing with war. There's the talk of revving up the Afghanistan war. Find out where that money is going, whose pockets it's going in. With Iraq, we know it was Halliburton. And we knew that from the beginning.
All the defense contractors.
Exactly. Eric Prince he'll make plenty, even if they don't privatize it the way he wanted. And of course, Eric Prince is the brother of Secretary of Education Betsy DeVos. Yeah. And the head of Blackwater.
Yeah, I was just going to say that.
Forgot about that part.
Yeah, but every weapons company, every military company that's building things, tanks, planes, Lockheed Martin, Northrop, all these companies benefit from war. So to say that, if anyone says, oh, well, the military is not a corporation, yeah, they're definitely run by corporations.
And Blackwater goes by Academy now. I think that they're trying to get Blackwater back now, though, since Trump's in and it gets the attention. But they had changed their name after the murderers went to jail. But just 2 weeks ago, those murderers were set free and their convictions overturned.
Yeah, and there's a lot of that going on right now. The thing with Afghanistan is you have all these minerals over there.
Yes.
I bet, I haven't looked into it yet, but I bet if we look into who's bidding for the mining of those minerals, I bet we're going to see buddies of Trump. We're going to see people that Trump is somehow connected to. And then we're going to see the true motive for that particular war, which is a war that shouldn't be happening because most people don't know this, but the Taliban actually surrendered. And we refused their surrender.
What's happened a couple times where we could have wiped them out and chose not to.
Yeah. When you're looking at those, I just want to bring this up real quick. When you're looking at those who are doing the contracts for the mining, I just want to state that the Afghan government's already signed a 30-year, $3 billion contract with China for that $1 trillion worth of minerals that they have there. And so it's interesting that they're revving this up now, because that was 2 years ago that was signed.
This is the very reason that Bush started the war, and Obama, who promised to end it, continued it, and now Trump is continuing it and revving it back up. It's all for the corporation. Endless war is the best thing for these companies. They don't make money in times of peace. Who are they gonna sell airplanes to? Who are they gonna sell missiles and rockets and bombs? Where are these privatized troops gonna be deployed to? It's, they need war to make money. It's really sick, but it's the fact.
Yeah.
And they should maybe outlaw some of these companies. I don't know, but they don't. The government's in bed with them 3,000%.
And even the small amount of regulations we have are being cut. Small. There was a very small amount. I mean, just look at net neutrality.
Yeah. That it's like, I don't know how to stop this, but yeah, it's definitely valid. I mean, the United States for a long time has just been a big corporation.
Yep. A capitalist society bases all of its decisions on the profits that it makes, not on the people that it hurts. Profit over people.
Yeah. And, when people think about protecting corporate power, they think about Republicans. And, of course, they're thinking about Trump right now, because the shit he's doing is just so blatant. It's almost like he's just conditioning us to accept it. But this has gone on, and in fact, privatization of government agencies, that's gone on under Democratic reign. I mean, the big crisis we have now with DCF just using the cover of law to kidnap children is because Bill Clinton privatized that agency when he was president and made it profitable to take children out of homes and made it profitable to sell them into adoption.
Yeah, so many of these tenets so far, I'm starting to I already knew, but it's just in my face now, and I'm realizing they've been going on for so long together, many of them. Maybe not all of them, but a whole lot of them. And the people just now want to blame Trump for it, but it's been building up and getting worse and worse and being allowed to happen. And here we are now. Unless we try to stop it somehow, it's just going to keep getting worse. These corporations are relentless, and like Gail just said, it's all about the bottom line and the profits and the dollar, over anything, over human rights, over people's lives, over everything. I mean, even look at what they're trying to do and have done with medical. Obamacare was crap, but it wasn't crap enough. The corporations didn't profit off it enough, so now they want to make it even worse, when they should be going the other way and giving the people a human right, which is health care.
Yeah, definitely. If Trump wanted to fix the problem with health care, he could start with the ridiculous profit margins, that big pharma and these providers of medical equipment have going on. Healthcare doesn't have to cost this much, but in a fascist society, corporate power is protected, so we won't see that happen.
Yeah, if you're a CEO of a pharmaceutical company or healthcare, a company related to healthcare, the thing you don't want is people to be well. You want people to remain sick and keep using your products because you're profiting off of it. Then they have no regulations on how much you can up prices of things. It's ridiculous. They've totally lobbied our rights away.
You're absolutely right on that, Tim. I mean, cancer is just a great example of that. There's, chemotherapy actually in many cases makes cancer worse. And there's now a lot of different alternative cancer cures that people are turning to with success that the medical industry still won't market because chemotherapy makes it worse. And when cancer gets worse, there's other things besides chemotherapy that get done, like surgery. And there's a bunch of medical equipment you have to sell surgeons in order to perform surgery, and so on and so forth. But the fact of the matter is, you can look online, people are beating it with cannabis oil, people are beating it with vitamin C infusions, people are beating it with paleo diets. And of course, that's all being kept out of the news because you have 5 corporations running the news who, when you look into it, you're going to find a bridge from them to the pharmaceutical and medical supply industry.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. You got to be rich, or you got to sell everything you own until you have no more money, and then you die because you can't get further treatment. That's disgusting. That's so disgusting. But I guess that this whole thing right here is about corporate power over government, and in every aspect we've talked about in so many different ways, we see it's totally valid in the United States. That's crazy. Anyone else have anything to add?
Nope.
Not I.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you guys for listening. We'll be back tomorrow with Labor Power is Suppressed, which is pretty much the flip side of this right here. See you tomorrow.